Gallery. Wala pa si Sir. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale
Srimate Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine
Namo Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Namo Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine
Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol 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 Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, 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 Radhe Gopala. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gopala. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur 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 Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Siddha Swami Ananda Paramahamsa 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 Gurudev 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 Gurudev
Haribol, namaste. Thank you very much, Elinet, and your family. Maraming salamat. Uh, let us all pray first. Namaom Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namana. Bhaja Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Haribol, thank you very much, Rhea. So I welcome you all to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are now going to continue our reading and discussion. No? We're still on Canto 2, I believe on Chapter 2. Who is our first reader? Rhea.
Aribol Namaste, Sir Pravin po.
Okay, Mr. Pravin, go ahead.
Haribol, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, we are in chapter 3 now.
Chapter 3, okay.
No,
Chapter 3 or 2?
No. Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 1 po.
Teka, Canto 2 na tayo, di ba?
Yes po, sir. Hold on lang po. Ini-scroll down lang po.
Chapter 2, sorry, chapter 2.
Okay, chapter 2.
The Lord
Go
within
ahead.
the heart. Yes po.
Sri Shukadev Goswami said, formerly, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos, Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virata Roop, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord. Thus, he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before. The example cited herein of Lord Sri Brahmaji is one of forgetfulness. Brahmaji is the incarnation of one of the mundane attributes of the Lord. Being the incarnation of the passion mode of material nature, he is empowered by the Lord to generate the beautiful material manifestation. Yet, due to his being one of the numerous living entities, he is apt to forget the art of his creative energy. This forgetfulness of the living being, beginning from Brahma down to the lowest insignificant ant, is a tendency which can be counteracted by meditation on the Virata Roop of the Lord. This chance is available in the human form of life, and if a human being follows the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam and begins to meditate upon the Virata Roop, then revival of his pure consciousness and counteraction of the tendency to forget his eternal relationship with the Lord can follow simultaneously. And as soon as this forgetfulness is removed, the Vyavasaya Buddhi is as mentioned herein, and the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 41, follows at once. This ascertained knowledge of the living being leads to loving service of the Lord, which the living being requires. The kingdom of God is unlimited. Therefore, the number of assisting hands of the Lord is also unlimited. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 14, asserts that the Lord has his hands, legs, eyes, and mouths in every nook and corner of his creation. This means that the expansions of differentiated parts and parcels called Jeev or living entities are assisting hands of the Lord, and all of them are meant for rendering a particular pattern of service to the Lord. The conditioned soul, even in the position of Brahma, forgets this by influence of illusory material energy generated out of false egoism. One can counteract such false egoism by invoking God consciousness. Liberation means getting out of the slumber of forgetfulness and becoming situated in the real loving service of the Lord, as exemplified in the case of Brahma. The service of Brahma is the sample of service in liberation, distinguished from the so called altruistic services full of mistakes and forgetfulness. Liberation is never in inaction, but service without human mistakes. Haribol.
Haribol, sir, nakamute po kayo.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So in this particular verse, we can learn that that um, Lord Brahma, although he is considered to be the uh, he's considered to be the creator of the universe, but he is actually part of the living being in this world. In other words, he is under the jurisdiction of the four miseries of life. He also gets old. He also gets disease. He was born and he will have to experience death. Although he is considered to be the creator of the universe, yeah, you might probably ask, sir, who created Brahma? Who created Brahma? Actually, Lord Brahma uh, came upon existence uh, from Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. So Garbhodakasaya Vishnu is actually the real creator. And Lord Brahma was designated by Lord Vishnu to become the creator of the material universe. Yeah. So remember, each and every person in the material cosmic manifestation is considered to be a conditioned soul. Although great personalities like Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, uh, and the demigods and other demigods, they are considered to be uh, living in a celestial world, in a heavenly planets. Yeah, they have a totally different lifestyle than us because we actually are in the we live in the intermediary planets now, and the heavenly planets is situated in the upper planetary systems, where the duration of life is very long. The duration of life is very long. Also, people in those upper in the upper planetary systems uh, very rarely do they catch disease. They experience disease, but not as uh, not to be compared with us. You know, with an earthling like us. You know, this present body that we have is considered to be an earthling. because we have an earthly body, a material body, yeah, and we suffer the four miseries of life, uh, but even Lord Brahma suffers the four miseries of life. Magkaiba nga lang. You cannot compare it. You cannot compare it. So, described here that once a person, according to Sukadev Goswami, once a person understands his real nature being a spiritual person, once he understands that and realizes that, then he has every opportunity to actually escape the wheel of birth and death in the material world. He has every opportunity to escape. When I say escape, that means that in his next life, he will not be, hold on. Hey, turn that off. Turn it off. I'm having a class here. Okay, thank you. For as long as we have a material body, pain and suffering and restlessness and anxiety is built in. It is already built in with our material body. Yeah. So right now we have a material body, and therefore we cannot escape. We suffer. We suffer regular pains, regular uh, suffering like this because of the body that we have. It's material. But once a person understands his real nature as a spiritual being, you understand it as a spiritual being, then he will be able to actually transcend. He will be able to actually uh, go back to his natural condition, go back to his natural uh, residence in the spiritual world with Krishna. So it is actually very, very rare to be able to have the opportunity to get out from the wheel of birth and death. Yeah, there is a process, and the process is, as we all know, is the ultimate process is Saravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. That is the ultimate process, and that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate yajna. That is the ultimate yajna. Yeah. Some other yogic process, they recommend different things like meditating like that for so many hours a day. Yeah. Or some would go to the extent of uh, fasting for so many days also like that. It's actually very, very difficult in this day and age. It's very, very difficult to transcend the problems of life. But uh, we are given the opportunity by the instructions laid off in Srimad Bhagavatam and all the great saints and sages. Yeah, our spiritual masters, our beloved spiritual master is right here, right now, guiding us. Then um, it is 100% proof or 100% sure that we can get out from these miseries of life. for as long as we follow the instructions of Gurudev and Srimad Bhagavatam. Without the instruction, without Guru and without the scriptures, it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult because it's like, you know, you travel the vast ocean of the Pacific Ocean. It's a very, very vast ocean, and you and you're traveling from a boat going there, but that boat doesn't have any captain. Would you be able to go from point A to point B where you wish to go without a captain? Or the captain is ignorant? Not possible. Not possible. There has got to be somebody who is an expert. You know, there's bad weather conditions. He's able to understand and maneuver the boat so that the boat and all the passengers of the boat will be safe because of his expertise. And similarly, in this world, we need an expert captain. That expert captain is actually our spiritual master. Yeah. And all the instructions that we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is possible. If the question is it possible, sir, to transcend the wheel of birth and death in this material world? Yes, it is. Okay, so next reader.
Haribol Namaste, sir. Haribol everyone. Purport. Text 2. Purport. The way of presentation of the Vedic sounds is so bewildering that the intelligence of the people is directed to meaningless things like the heavenly kingdoms, etc.
Oh.
The conditioned souls hover in a dream of such heavenly illusory pleasures, but actually they do not relish any tangible happiness in such places. Translation. The conditioned soul is always engaged in laying out plans for happiness within the material world, even up to the end of the universal limit. He is not even satisfied with available amenities within this planet Earth, where he has exploited the resources of nature to the best of his capacity. He wants to go to the moon of the planet Venus to exploit resources there. But the Lord has warned us in the Bhagavad Gita, chapters 8, text 16, about the worthlessness of all the innumerable planets of this universe, as well as those planets within other systems. There are innumerable universes and also innumerable planets in each of them, but none of them is immune to the chief miseries of material existence, namely the pangs of birth, the pangs of death, the pangs of old age, and the pangs of disease. The Lord says that even the topmost planet known as the Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, and what to speak of other planets like the heavenly planets, etc., is not a happy land for residential purposes due to the presence of material pangs, as above mentioned. Conditioned souls are strictly under the laws of fruitive activities, and as such, they go up to Brahmaloka sometimes and again come down to the Pataloka as if they were unintelligent children on a merry-go-round. The real happiness is in the kingdom of God, where no one has to undergo the pangs of material existence. Therefore, the Vedic ways of fruitive activities by the living entities are misleading. One thinks of a superior way of life in this country, or that, or in this planet, or another, but nowhere in the material world can he fulfill his real desire of life, namely eternal life, full intelligence, and complete bliss. Indirectly, Srila Sukadev Goswami affirms that Maharaj Parikshit, in the last stage of life, should not desire to transfer himself to the so-called heavenly planets, but should prepare himself for going back home, back to Godhead. None of the material planets, nor the amenities available there for living conditions, is everlasting. Therefore, one must have a factual reluctance to enjoy such temporary happiness as they afford. Haribol namaste po.
Haribol, thank you very much, Shani. So very clear here that Srimad Bhagavatam, or the statement made by Sukadev Goswami, is very clear. No, he advises Maharaj Pariksit not to be allured by uh, uh, some texts in the Vedanta Sutra talking about the higher planetary systems, talking about the all the allurements, or all the all of the sensual gratification found in the heavenly planets, no, not to be not to be attracted to it, because it is merely like a dream. The so-called happiness that a person experiences in the higher planetary systems is very, very temporary. No? It is actually a part of uh, uh, the power of Maya that influence everyone in the material world. You know, yeah, if you go to this planet, you are going to you are going to experience this type of extreme happiness, etc. No, that's why in India, where many people uh, use Vedanta Sutra as their guide, many are still allured to go to the heavenly planets, yeah, and worship these different demigods that give them temporary so-called happiness, temporary so-called intelligence, temporary so-called wealth, yeah. But these are all, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, these are all illusions. We should never, we should never uh, desire to go to these places. The the desire of the devotee of Krishna is very simple. He just wants to be engaged in the loving service of Krishna, wherever he may be. Wherever he may be, he prays to Krishna, please, Krishna, please engage me in your loving service. That is the only thing that I ask of you. Yeah, uh, I don't I don't desire to go to these places. I don't desire beautiful women, nor do I desire, you know, wealth, great wealth, or numbers of followers like that. Lord Chaitanya actually taught us how to pray to Krishna, uh, so that we remain in Krishna's perspective always. It's useless to go to these heavenly planets. Why? Because it doesn't. It actually doesn't cure. It doesn't um, give the answer to the question of suffering. The heavenly planets can offer some relief from material pains, but only very, very limited. Limited lang talaga. For example, here in this earthly planet, the type of sensual gratification that we experience is this much. But there, the type of sensual gratification is experienced, grabe. It's so huge like that. But it is still limited. Why? Because it has a beginning and an end. The so-called material pleasures that we experience in the heavenly planets has a beginning and an end. So therefore, it is not really a solution, isn't it? The solution to get out from the miseries of birth and death in the material world is really devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna, getting out totally from the material sphere. Yeah. So that when you experience that, you will never desire to go back to the material world, even in the highest planet of Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. Why? Because the solution is permanent. The solution that a person receives in Buddha yoga or devotional service, bhakti yoga, is very superior. You cannot compare that with any material pleasure. So it is only attractive. The material pleasures found in the heavenly planets are only attractive to the unintelligent. If you're an unintelligent person, then you will be attracted to that. Temporary pleasure, and that's it. And we all know here on earth, we know that temporary pleasure is just a flash. It is just a flash, isn't it? Even the so-called highest pleasure in the material world. What is the highest pleasure in the material world that is even available on earth? The highest sensual pleasure is sexual pleasure. Okay, we all know that sexual pleasure is very, very, it's very fleeting, very fleeting. It comes, and you think that you're going to be so happy and so uh, blissful and all. After a few seconds, that's it. Yun lang pala yun. Wala na. And then you're going to look for it again and again and again without really being satisfied. Without being satisfied at all. That is the nature of the material world. That's why Sukadev Goswami recommends that we should never desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. Going to the heavenly planets is actually a design, no? To enjoy separately from Krishna, because you are still the central enjoying figure when you have that kind of a consciousness. And when you have that kind of a consciousness, you will never ever become truly happy and satisfied. It will always be lacking. bitin parati. Kala ko maging masaya na ako, but it's not going to really satisfy you. Such is the illusory energy of Krishna, Maya. It's simply the influence of Maya. That's all. So really, if we want to get out totally from the miseries of this material world, material existence, then we just need to follow the instructions of the Vedas, specifically Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and all the works of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, and all the works of our Param Gurus. Listen to the Lord within the heart, because Krishna speaks to us from within. He speaks to us from within. He actually guides us from within. And the spiritual master guides us externally. Externally, he guides us. If we have any problems with our spiritual life, the spiritual master is right there. You can immediately ask questions. You have the opportunity to interact with a living spiritual master, who actually loves us unconditionally, by the way. Yeah. So these are the ways that Sukadeva Goswami uh, is offering Maharaj Bhakti. Next reader.
Haribol Namaste, sir. Haribol Namaste, everyone.
Haribol, sino to?
Cheryl po, sir.
Hi, Cheryl. Haribol. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Text 3. Translation. For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life while in the world of names. He should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things, being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing. Purport. The Bhagavat Dharma, or the cult of Srimad Bhagavatam, is perfectly distinct from the way of fruitive activities, which are considered by the devotees to be merely a waste of time. The whole universe, or for that matter, all material existence, is moving on as Jagat, simply for planning business to make one's position very comfortable or secure, although everyone sees that this existence is neither comfortable nor secure and can never become comfortable or secure at any stage of development. Those who are captivated by the illusory advancement of material civilization, following the way of phantasmagoria, are certainly madmen. The whole material creation is a jugglery of names only. In fact, it is nothing but a bewildering creation of matter like earth, water, and fire. The buildings, furniture, cars, bungalows, mills, factories, industries, peace, war, or even the highest perfection of material science, namely atomic energy and electronics, are all simply bewildering names of material elements with their concomitant reactions of the three modes. Since the devotee of the Lord knows them perfectly well, he is not interested in creating unwanted things for a situation which is not at all reality, but simply names of no more significance than the bubble of sea waves. The great kings, leaders, and soldiers fight with one another in order to perpetuate their names in history. They are forgotten in due course of time, and they make a place for another era in history. But the devotee realizes how much history and historical persons are useless product of flickering time. The fruitive worker aspires after a big fortune in the matter of wealth, women, woman, and worldly adoration, but those who are fixed in perfect reality are not at all interested in such false things. For them, it is all a waste of time. Since every second of human life is important, an enlightened man should be very careful to utilize time very cautiously. 1 second of human life wasted in the vain research of planning for happiness in the material world can never be replaced, even if one spends millions of coins of gold. Therefore, the transcendentalist, desiring freedom from the clutches of Maya or the illusory activities of life, is warned herewith not to be captivated by the external features of fruitive actors. Human life is never meant for sense gratification, but for self realization. Srimad Bhagavatam instructs us only on the solely on this subject from the very beginning to the end. Human life is simply meant for self realization. The civilization which aims at this utmost perfection never indulges in creating unwanted things, and such a perfect civilization prepares men only to accept the bare necessities of life or to follow the principle of the best use of a bad bargain. Our material bodies and our lives in that connection are bad bargains because the living entity is actually spirit, and spiritual advancement of the living entity is absolutely necessary. Human life is intended for the realization of this important factor, and one should act accordingly, accepting only the bare necessities of life and depending more on God's gift without diversion of human energy for any other purpose, such as being mad for material enjoyment. The materialistic advancement of civilization is called the civilization of the demons, which ultimately ends in wars and scarcity. The transcendentalist is specifically warned herewith to be fixed in mind, so that even if there is difficulty in plain living and high thinking, he will not budge even an inch from his stark determination. For a transcendentalist, it is a suicidal policy to be intimately in touch with the sense gratifiers of the world, because such a policy will frustrate the ultimate gain of life. Sukadev Goswami met Maharaj Pariksit when the latter felt a necessity for such a meeting. It is the duty of a transcendentalist to help persons who desire real salvation and to support the cause of salvation. One might note that Sukadev Goswami never met Maharaj Pariksit while he was ruling as a great king. For a transcendentalist, the mode of activities is explained in the next sloka. Haribol, thank you po.
Haribol, thank you very much, Cheryl. Maraming salamat. So, again, we learn that trying to live um, simply depending on our own strength, on our own intelligence, on our own so-called beauty, like this, will never ever give us complete happiness. It nor can it solve the problems of life. It will never. So it is advised here by Sukadev Goswami to just live simply. Live simply. Just live uh, with basic necessities. Basic necessities. And not to and not to live like um, like the contractors and the politicians that are involved in the flood control projects that we have here in the Philippines. You know, uh, they they get so attracted to Maya that they totally forget about what morality is, about you know they totally forget about the human conditions like this, helping one another. They totally forget that. They're just after the sensual gratification or sensual enjoyment. Imagine having 47 luxury cars and flexing it to media. Okay, di ba? Having 6 helicopters and many, many other properties like this. Parang these people totally forget about the word contentment. Contentment. In this world, the more you have, the more problems you will have. Some people think that, if I only become a millionaire, then, I will be happy and satisfied. I will be able to uh, solve the problems of suffering, etc. You know, they think like this. They think that money can actually help them uh, with their material existence. But actually, what is happening really is that same money that they think can actually elevate them uh, to righteousness, no? Is the same money that can make them really, really uh, fall down in 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 material in our material life. In the Srimad, in the Sri Upanishad, it is stated one should accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So in the sastras, anybody who tries to think that they can find happiness through sensual gratification, sensual pleasures through wealth, etc., is considered to be a thief. Thief. Why is he a thief? Because he totally forgets about the real owner. Who is the real owner of this world, by the way? Is it me or is it the Supreme Being? Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is owned and controlled by the Lord. It is never said it is owned and controlled by me or by somebody else in this world. It is specifically said controlled by the Lord. It is owned and controlled by the Lord. So if we if we end up, for example, having good karma and we have all these facilities, and we start to think that we are the enjoyers uh, uh, of these monies that we have, etc. You know, uh, the all the material things that are around us, etc. Yeah, if we start to think that we can actually find happiness, enjoying in those pleasures, then uh, very unintelligent indeed. Because you start to think that you're God. You start to think that, you know, since I have this, I can now, I can now solve the problems of life. Even if you own the whole world, or even if you own the whole universe, even Lord Brahma, who's supposed to be the uh, uh, the architect or the creator of the universe, cannot solve the problems of the pangs of birth, diseases, old age, and death. Hindi niya kaya. He's supposed to be the creator, but he is under the jurisdiction of material nature. One can never defeat material nature. One can never defeat uh, the threefold miseries. We cannot defeat floods. We cannot defeat droughts. We cannot defeat earthquakes or tsunamis, whatever. We cannot. Even though if I own the world, even though if I am uh, in the stature of Lord Brahma, I cannot. I cannot defeat birth, diseases, old age, and death. I cannot defeat that. So really, the aim of life is to be able to transcend, is able to transcend the pangs or the suffering of the material existence and go back to Krishna. That is the goal of life. The goal of life is not to be able to enjoy the material names and forms of this world, because that will never give you complete happiness nor fulfillment, yeah, nor contentment. Person can only be truly happy and satisfied with Krishna, with his holy names. Next reader. Last reader na. Last reader.
Haribo, Sir Prabi.
Go ahead.
Sorry, sir.
Wala. Ay.
When there are ample earthly flats to lie on, what is the necessity of cots and beds? When one can use his own arms, what is the necessity of a pillow? When one can use the palms of his hands, what is the necessity of varieties of utensils? When there is a ample covering or the skins of trees, what is the necessity of clothing? The necessity of life for the protection and comfort of the body must not be unnecessarily increased. Human energy is spoiled in a vain search after such illusory happiness. If one is able to lie down on the floor, then why should one endeavor to get a good bedstead or soft cushion to lie on? If one can rest without any pillow and make use of the soft arms endowed by nature, there is no necessity of searching after a pillow. If one can make a study of the general life of the animals, we can see that they have no intelligence for building big houses, furniture, and other household paraphernalia, and yet they maintain a healthy life by lying down on the open land. They do not know how to cook or prepare foodstuffs, yet they still live healthy lives more easily than the human being. This does not mean that human civilization should revert to animal life or that the education and sense of
And that the human
without
being.
that I think I missed something here.
Yeah.
You should revert to animal life or that the
Mm.
education and sense of mortality. I think I'm missing one line.
Yes.
Animal life or that the education and sense of again I'm telling you, human being should live naked in the jungles without any culture, education and sense of mortality. Sorry, sir. An
Yeah.
intelligent human cannot live uh, the life the life of an animal. Rather, man should try to utilize his intelligence in arts and science, poetry and philosophy. In such a way, further he can further the progressive march of human civilization.
Mm.
But here, the idea given by Srila Shukadev Goswami is that the reserve energy of human life, which is far superior to that of animals, should simply be utilized for self realization. Advancement of human civilization must be towards the goal of establishing our lost relationship with God, which is not possible in any form of life other than the human. One must realize the nullity of the material phenomenon, considering it a passing phantasmago, phanta, phantas,
Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria.
phantasmagoria, and must endeavor to make a solution to the miseries of life. Self complacence with a polished type of material animal civilization geared to sense gratification is delusion, and such a civilization is not worthy of the name. In pursuit of such false activities, a human being is in the clutches of Maya or illusion. Great sages and saints in the days of yore were not living in palatial buildings furnished with good furniture and so called amenities of life. They used to live in huts and groves and sit on the flat ground, and yet they have left immense treasures of high knowledge with all perfection. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami were high ranking ministers of state, but they were able to leave behind them immense writings on transcendental knowledge while residing only for one night underneath one tree. They did not live even 2 nights under the same tree, and what to speak of well furnished rooms with modern amenities. And still, they were able to give us most important literatures of self realization. So called comforts of life are not actually helpful for progressive civilization. Rather, they are detrimental to such progressive life. In the system of Sanatan Dharma, of four divisions of social life and four orders of progressive realization, there are ample opportunities and sufficient directions for a happy termination of the progressive life, and the science followers are advised therein to accept a voluntary life of renunciation in order to achieve the desired goal of life. If one is not accustomed to abiding by the life of renunciation and self abnegation from the beginning, one should try to get into the habit at a later stage of life, as recommended by Sri Shukadev Goswami, and that will help one to achieve the desired success. Hari Bol.
Haribol, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So here we are advised, no, by Sukadev Goswami to be living very simply at the same time having high thinking. Live simply and think highly. In other words, if you're engaged in spiritual life, you don't necessarily uh, desire to desire to have, you know, desire to be rich or desire to have so much wealth, etc. No need for that. Actually, if you're a businessman, for instance, you work for the just enough for for the maintenance of your body and for the maintenance of your family. Other than that, you don't. Hindi na ano. It's not. You're not in any way attracted to it. Now, it is described here that uh, the animal civilization, animals, uh, are actually they do not have good sleeping conditions, or they don't they don't have they don't eat good food, etc. But by the by the providence or the provision of material nature, they're healthy. They're actually healthy. They sleep anywhere, but they're very healthy. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to remember, doesn't doesn't push us to become animals, but it's just telling us that we should always abide by what material nature gives us. Yeah, what material nature can give us as far as our uh, body is concerned, for the uh, keeping body and mind, body and soul together. Then we do it because we do it for Krishna. We don't do it for ourselves. We know that we have to be healthy uh, for Krishna's for Krishna's uh, pleasure and for Gurudev's pleasure. Yeah. So whatever is given to us by Krishna, that is it. I mean, use it properly for the pleasure of Krishna and Gurudev, and not be in the illusion that I need to have this much, I need to have this much, I need to have this much, because we know that uh, having having material things as our goal in life can never satisfy us. It can never satisfy us because there's no end to it. It is endless. You know why it is endless? Because we are endless ourselves. We, as spiritual beings, we are endless. We're eternal. Yeah, we are eternal living beings, and we are infinite. So we have infinite needs. We have longings. We have infinite longings. Okay. Now, if you don't know who you are, if you try to uh, mistakenly think that you are the body, okay, and then you combine that with our nature as as infinite and endless and eternal. So we think that having material goods or material sensual pleasure can satisfy us, but these are all material. In other words, our like our intelligence must be used properly and really understand our position and function as a spiritual entity. And this is exactly what's happening in the world today. Why do people not get, they are never satisfied with something that they have? Why? Because they think that material sensual gratification can really satisfy them. That is their thinking. You try to satisfy your eternal longings with something that is materially based, that is uh, uh, that is temporary. This is temporariness. This is eternal. You are eternal. You try to satisfy your eternal longings with something that is temporary. It's not possible. It's not possible. You will end up dissatisfied, always dissatisfied. Kasi eternal ka eh. Eternal ka, you try to satisfy it with something that is temporary. It can only give you uh, uh, headaches. It can only give you problems. Okay, so hanggang dito na lamang po tayo. We stop here. If you have any questions at all, you may ask. May question ba kayo? You have questions? Okay, Rhea, who is our exit kirtan
Haribol,
person?
sina Sir Isaac and family po, Sir Haribol, sir.
Okay. Isaac, are you there? Isaac?
Haribol, sir.
Haribol, namaste.
Haribol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Sumati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimad Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Vadya Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Haribol.
Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Vasadei Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadei Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, 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 Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, 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 Jaya Jaya Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaur Bhakta Brandam, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaur Bhakta Brandam, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gauranga, Haribol Namaste.
Haribol, thank you very much, Mr. Isaac and your family. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Haribol sir, wala sila dito.
Nasaan sila?
Ako lang mag-isa, sa Iloilo sila eh.
Nasa Iloilo. Okay,
Sir.
no problem. Jai Krishna, Haribol.
Haribol!
I'd like to thank our admins in the room. Si Cheryl is here, and of course, ano nangyari kay Rhea is here also. Cheryl and Rhea, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol. Yeah, I'd like to thank our opening kirtan singer, si nandito ba? Nawala na yata si ano, no?
Nalalaglag po sir, mahina po kasi yung net dito sa amin ngayon sa sa San Pedro.
Ganun ba? Yeah, Ellie Nathan family. Wonderful kirtan. Yeah, and of course, I would like to thank all of the readers as well as all the participants. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for coming over and participating in our class. And I'll see you again on Friday. Yeah, maraming salamat po. Over to you, Rhea.
Thank you
Jaya
very
Krishna.
much din po Sir Radha, and thank you Ma'am Elinet and Sir Bam for the opening kirtan, Sir Isaac for the closing kirtan po, and to all our readers, Sir Pravin, Ma'am Sharni, Ate Cheryl, Haribol, Namaste everyone. Jaya Jaya Gurudev Krishna, Haribol.
Take good care, guys. Haribol. Namaste.
Haribol. Thank you po, sir.
Haribo.
Ingat kayo parati.
Haribol. Krishna Krishna.